Hi everyone, my name is Haze. I'm an artist and speed painter from Malaysia. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 simple tips on how you can improve your prompts when you're using Midjourney AI tool. So recently, I've been creating a lot of artwork and starting by conceptualizing in Midjourney, adding in 3D images and then finishing them off in Procreate itself. So these are some of the artworks that I've done recently, and today I just want to share with you guys 10 simple tips on how you can improve your prompts in Midjourney when it comes to generating artwork. So whether you are a beginner or an experienced artist, these tips will help you get to the next level, definitely. So without any further ado, let's get started. So when you get into Midjourney, there's actually 4 plans you can subscribe to. So the first one is of course the free plan, which comes with 25 minutes of usage for fast generations, and then after that, next up is the basic plan, which is actually not enough. But with the basic plan, you actually get 200 minutes and you actually get access to DMing the bot so that you do not have to scroll down every time. So this will be in tip 2. Actually, what I would recommend is for you to get the standard plan, because under the standard plan you have unlimited relaxed usage. So if you're not using fast mode, you can actually just use the relaxed mode and generate unlimited artwork, which is really worth it for this plan. And you also get access to DMing the bot, and of course you can always just upgrade to private in order to make all your prompts private and hidden away from the community. So for the enterprise plan, it's something that maybe you would want to consider if you know that you are going to subscribe to Midjourney for a long time, like annually maybe. So when you first join Midjourney, you will get thrown into the newbie room, and after that the general room when you're no longer a newbie and you're subscribing to a plan. So when you're in those rooms and you generate artwork, the moment you generate a prompt, you will actually have to scroll up to find the prompt that you are working on, and then after that, when it's done, you have to scroll all the way down to find your prompt again. Or you can actually just use the search function. So this actually makes everything very inconvenient and you feel very cluttered and claustrophobic, because like you are surrounded by so many people who are using the room and sharing the room with you, generating artworks. So it would be great if you can just DM the bot, especially if you have the basic or the standard plan. So I would actually recommend that you get the basic or standard plan, because with these two plans you can actually just DM the bot, and then that way all your prompts will all just be in one feed and you won't have to scroll around anymore looking for your prompts. But bear in mind that you will still be doing a lot of scrolling, but definitely it's more efficient to be DMing the bot instead. So the third tip of the day is to read up on their Git book. Their Git book is like their user manual. So this user manual actually covers how to write good prompts, and they have a lot of illustrated examples on what to do and what not to do. So it's definitely the first place that you should visit, and from now on all the tips that I will be sharing is all regarding all these prompts and how to use them effectively. So when it comes to prompt, the first thing that you should always do is check /info. So this will actually give you a summary of your plan and subscription and when it's ending and how many hours are left, and this can actually gives you the insight on whether you should use relax mode more, or are you just going to go on fast mode and use more hours there before you go back to relax mode. So this should be the first command that you check once you have activated your plan. And the next command that you should go into is /settings. So this /settings has a couple of lines that you can actually toggle settings on and off. So each line is a toggle mode, which means if you pick one, the rest is just going to gray out. So this is a really convenient way for you to modify all your prompts at one go using a visual editor like this. Of course, you can always just edit it in the prompt itself by throwing in commands, but it's easier to use it in this editor. So the next command that you should be aware of is --AR. So this actually determines the aspect ratio of your generated artworks. By default, Midjourney generates everything in a square format. So if you want your artwork to have different aspect ratio, you can always just --AR and put in your aspect ratio like this. And this is really important when your subject matter doesn't really fit into the square. Like for example, if you're generating a tall tower building, of course you need to allocate a taller aspect ratio for this art generation. You can also tell Midjourney to generate an artwork based on an image. So to do that, just send the image to Discord by messaging Midjourney in DM, and then then once you have sent the image to Midjourney, it means that it's uploaded to the Discord server. So then you can just right click and copy the link of the media, which is the image link, and then after that you can just use that in your prompt, paste in the link, and you can control how much this image is affecting your generated artwork using --IW, which is image weight. So the default image weight is 0.25, and you can go all the way up to 5 if I'm not mistaken, and the higher you go, the more it's going to affect the final output itself. So this is a great way for you to generate like alternative randomized output of your artwork or your current images that you found on the internet, for example. The next command that is useful is the seed command, which is a --S. So to actually get the seed of your prompts, you can actually just right click and ask Midjourney to DM you the results. So once Midjourney DM you the results, it will actually include all the seed numbers within it. So if you actually copy this seed number and use it in your next prompt, you will actually start to generate artworks that is very similar to that seed itself visually. And the last command that I would like to talk about is --uplight. So this is actually an upscale method. So usually when you upscale, they will create a lot of textures and details in the final output itself. So if you don't want that and you're generating something that is meant to be very simple, like watercolor paintings or artwork that is meant to be in the background with less details, all you have to do is to add a --uplight, and then it will actually generate the artwork with less details and textures. So for the next tip, I would actually suggest for you to study prompts. So to study the prompts, you can actually just study them in the Discord channel. There's a lot of channels that have generated artworks with their prompts right next to them, and you can just scroll through them and like see some of the prompts and see how they are written and learn from there. But a great way to study prompts is also to go to midjourney.com/feed. So you can only access the community feed if you sign in and if you are a paid user. So this will actually give you access to the top prompts that was generated lately, and you can actually also see all the prompts that were used to generate the image. So this is a great way for you to learn from the best, and also you can check the dictionary section where you can check all the subject matters and the styles that you can explore and all their outputs and how they're gonna look like once they're generated out. You can definitely copy prompts that you see on the feed or Discord, but you don't really have to do that, because today I'm actually going to show you how to build a prompt that is uniquely your own. And there are also some companies selling prompts for AI generation software right now. So if you want to, you can actually purchase from them, but I would definitely not suggest that, because building a prompt can be so fun and satisfying, and it also really tests your linguistic skills and your connection to the artist community especially, and you can find out all about it in the next few tips. So when it comes to building a prompt, the first tip that I would give is to build the story and the emotions first. Then you go into details, then only you go into style and render options. So let's start with the story and the narrative for now. So right here, I'm just going to have a simple goal and objective. So my simple goal and objective is to recreate a artwork in the style of this artist called Kazuki Takamatsu, and I'm actually going to use fast mode for this. So if I type something wrong or if I make an error, I can just right click and click on cancel to cancel the current prompt. So I'm going to start by describing my narrative. So don't be too complex, start simple, just see how it works first, because there's going to be a lot of misunderstandings even between a human and an AI. So in every relationship, if you expect someone to understand you the way you expect them to, it's never going to work out that way. So just get the narrative working before you get into your style. So you can see that I'm trying various outputs, and this is where the relaxed mode is really great, but I'm actually using the fast mode now so that we can see everything real time. And also it would be best for you to stay detached from the result, because what we want is, at the end of the day, every single output is going to be a great artwork. So right now it's not there yet. So we're just going to get the subject matter and the narrative and the story right first. So don't get attached to results when you are only getting one good result out of like maybe 20 prompts. So that's not going to be the epitome of success here. And remember, you can always just right click X emoticon to cancel the job. Sometimes it's just a matter of flipping keywords and googling the right keyword to use in the prompt that would actually create the result that you want. So sometimes it does not understand what is 45 degrees, but turns out that it does understand what is 3/4 angle. Okay, so the next tip is to work on the style. So when it comes to describing a style to Midjourney, you can actually just focus on the artist names and the genre and in the style of or using what medium or technique. So these are all things that you can throw into Midjourney. So for now, I will actually just copy aside the narrative and then just test out the style alone on one single subject matter to make sure that it's really working first before I bring back the narrative into the prompt. Of course, you have to actually find keywords that the AI would understand, and after that you have to tweak with more details. Then after that you can finally apply your style to the narrative. So this is how I would like to work. I usually separate all the style elements to make sure every single one of them actually contributes to the prompt, or else it's just going to be more noise for Midjourney to work, and then it's going to take a long time to generate as well. Right now, I really like the colors and we don't actually have to go full black and white. So I'm going to actually try to use the term monochromatic and limited color palettes and see what we're going to have in return. Also remember that order matters. Changing the order of your prompts actually gives you a different result. And I think that whatever is in front of the prompt in the beginning is definitely going to get a lot more priority. So I'm going to drop a few links down below in the description for references. And now that you are in this stage, you will definitely stumble upon prompts that is out of your expectations, that is really beautiful. So it will actually gives you a feeling of excitement when you discover that halfway of getting towards your prompt, you get something pretty already. So when you're ready, just bring in back your narrative into the prompt. And right now I'm running two paths. So one path is on monochromatic and the other one is on limited color palette. And I'm gonna run all the prompts on this two path and see where they branch into. And maybe at the end of the journey, I will actually pick one artwork from one of the branches itself. And be very careful if you have typos in your prompt, if your commas are missing, and if the punctuation marks are located wrongly. So this can actually cause problems. So make sure you cancel the prompt and redo it again. So this is actually a great way to redefine the name of Midjourney. So Midjourney is really like this. You're forever on a Midjourney to your final destination. And in the Midjourney itself is where it's the most beautiful, because you get to discover so many possibilities and paths to develop your art that way. And generating art with Midjourney is forever a Midjourney. So that's what I found so fascinating about this AI tool. So from now on, I will continue tweaking the one that I think works the best, and then we'll see what happens after that. And right now, I'm definitely leaning more towards the limited color palette one. Okay, the next tip is the third step to creating a prompt, which is to decide the render setting. So render settings is controlling how detailed the output would be, the aspect ratio, the size, what canvas, and how complex it's going to be. So if the artwork is actually a 3D render, what render engine is it going to be using? Is it going to be using Octane, Unreal Engine, or Arnold? Which one? Cinema 4D maybe? So when I start getting good results, almost every time I would branch out into more path to test out details and render settings and final outputs. So this is where I really branch out and see like what works best for the output that I'm going for. And you can see here, this is really super close to my original inspiration, which is the starting goal of this whole experiment today. So this shows how powerful the AI tool is and incredibly helpful. If you want to just test out new styles, you can, and it's so easy. So the last step would be to upscale or to uplight it, which means to upscale with less or more details. So you get to pick one or the other and try out which one works best for you. But until then, I would just keep repeating the prompts until I stumble upon an artwork that I think is really great. So this is exactly why I feel that you should definitely be on the standard plan. There's a lot of branching paths and generation and like experiments to run. It's a conversation with an AI. So you definitely can't have the conversation timed. It's not feasible at all if you want great results. So actually right now I would change the style to be very high, and this is the output of pure AI, and this is actually how it looks like with no edits on any software or digital painting at all. So the last tip of the day that I would share is how to build your own custom prompt. So just now was just a demonstration of how to build a prompt, but what I would like to suggest is to have a prompt that is purely your own. So Midjourney is an AI tool, right? And using AI tool, most of the artists are just using it to discover aesthetic and beauty, which means they just want to see pretty things everywhere. But I think the best way of discovering art using AI tool is to reject reality, is to mix reality and to mix things that are not in our world or have contrasting natures to them, and to create art using them. So this will actually create conversation pieces and like really create new genres of art. And for this to happen, you actually need to build your own prompt that is purely your own. So because prompts is divided into 3 sections, right, which is the story, narrative, and the second section is the style, and the third one is the render setting. So what I'm suggesting is to have the style and render settings your own, and to really guard it quietly and safely. Make sure that it's your own style, whatever genre you want to mix and things like that. And then after that, you can literally throw in any narrative into the prompt, and using just the artwork that you generate from this set of prompts, you can actually have a collection of artwork already that is purely your own, however special they are. So this I find would be like the ultimate goal of Midjourney or any AI tool. So for example, in this current prompt, I am going to select the style and the render settings and right click and copy it so that I can use it again and again next time to generate other narratives in the same style and genre and setting. Okay guys, this is the end of the tutorial. Thank you for watching all the way to the end and hear me ramble on and on and on about Midjourney. So Midjourney is just one of the AI tools right now in the market, and there's a lot coming up. Stable Diffusion is one that is really popular right now because it's doing such a great job with portraits and faces and fabric. It's just doing such a great job, and it's a totally different concept compared to Midjourney. Midjourney is like a Midjourney kind of thing, whereas that one is more of a stable generation of seeds. So there will definitely be more videos on AI tools on my channel. So if you're interested in following those content, please remember to like and leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. And for now, bye!